I'm going to talk about the idea of modelling historical change using Quaternions. Such a model would be very useful for things like anticipating crises and understanding how adversaries develop and evolve. First, let's suppose we represent the state of a society by a complex number r. And let's suppose the society's state changes at a rate proportional to the existing state. R dot varies as r. This is saying that the rich get richer. The solution to such an equation would be e to the zt, where z is a complex number, say alpha plus I omega. So we can expand this as e to the alpha t plus I omega t, which becomes e to the alpha t into cos omega t plus I sine omega t by Euler's theorem. Here we have the two types of historical change: exponential, seen in technology growth, and cyclical, seen in things like the rise and fall of empires or political, economic and social vigour. Now, technology is also cyclical, since growth can be faster or slower, while political, economic and social vigour also show linear growth. Thousands of years ago, Egypt was a superpower. Today it is not, a down cycle. But in absolute terms, it is vastly more capable than it was overall progress. We can therefore identify technology with the real part of the state, and political, economic and social vigour with the imaginary part, giving each both exponential and cyclical components. Since technology depends on cosine, it is out of phase with political, economic and social vigour, which depend on sine. This is why the transistor was taken up by the defeated Japanese and not by the Americans, who had thriving businesses based on thermionic valves. Now, technology is an aspect of a more fundamental concept called scale, which is a measure of social interactivity, while political, economic and social vigour correspond to quantities called integration, organisation and cohesion. We can represent this with a quaternion, which is very like a complex number but has four parts. In this case, the real part corresponds to scale, and the three imaginary parts correspond to political integration, economic organisation and social cohesion. Now, one of the proposed historical equations is r dot equals rp, where r is the real state of a society and p the perceived state. If we write r and p in their full quaternion forms and multiply out, we get this, where, say, IR dot, the rate of change of real political integration, is equal to this expression on the other side. One of the terms here is OR, real organisation, times CP, perceived cohesion. This says that a society's wealth, its real economic organisation, can be converted through taxation into governmental effectiveness, real political integration. But to raise tax successfully depends on the loyalty and commitment of the society's members, its perceived social cohesion. This makes sociological sense. To summarise, quaternions look promising for modelling historical change because their four parts correspond to four key sociological variables. They generate the two types of historical change. Technology growth is out of phase with political, economic and social vigour, as it should be, and they express sociologically correct relationships in a compact form.